If you are anything like me and you're just thinking, you know what, hunting in Arizona, fishing in Arizona just isn't like any place else. And you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Appreciate you hanging out, kicking your week off with me on a Monday. And yeah, it's Monday. Can you believe it? Yep, here we go. You survived the weekend, so I'm glad that you're here. Let me be very clear. Hunting and fishing in Arizona is different than any place else in the world. If you are from the Midwest, East Coast, Northeast, Florida, Southern Panhandle, if you are from the Northwest United States and you learned how to fish and you learned how to hunt in those locations and you moved to Arizona, good luck. You're going to have to learn how to hunt and fish again, which is a really positive problem. I'm not saying that here in Arizona we got to figure it out. We're so much better at fishing and hunting than you. No, we're not. It's just different. And as evidenced by my hunt over the weekend, it is wildly different than anything you will ever experience. Again, if you're here in Arizona, we love having you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting our state and our conservation. We have 820 species that your Arizona Game and Fish Department has to manage healthy populations of. It is the most biodiverse non-coastal state in the nation. It is an anomaly. It's a unicorn. You're hunting in Arizona, it's just different. You're fishing in Arizona, it's just different. So here, just is different than many other states. There's a lottery. And I know a lot of states, especially the southwestern United States, we have lotteries. I mean, it's not unique to Arizona, but, welcome. You're going to have to put in for the draw. And you might go years without being drawn for a elk, a deer, javelina, whatever it is. You might go years without getting drawn. You might have to rely on over-the-counter tags, which aren't as plentiful as the lottery tags. So right out of the gate, you might not just have a big game opportunity in years. And when you do, it's different. Your responses are different. I'll put it that way. And when I say responses, like, hey, how'd the hunt go? How'd the hunt go? Well, this is how the hunt went. I didn't see anything. That's absolutely foreign to so many people that moved to Arizona. It's foreign. Just the thought of I didn't see anything when I was out hunting and I had waited 5 years to get this tag and I didn't see anything. That is completely foreign to people outside of the state of Arizona. Completely. And so it's just again, I'm not saying we're better. I'm not saying that it's a better program. I'm saying it's just different. So get ready and set your expectations and help your friends that are moving into the state, help them with their expectations that it takes a while to get drawn. If you get drawn right away, it's luck. Good for you. But then you got to figure out how to do this. And it's a different hunt. I remember the first time I hunted in Arizona. My buddy stopped the truck and he said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go up that hill. It looked to me like a mountain. He said, we're going to go up that hill and we're going to start glassing. I said, we're going to do what and do what? Did we set up blinds? Is there a tree stand we get into? He goes, no, we're going to go up to the top of the hill. We're going to get our binoculars out. And we're going to look to see what we can find. And then we're going to stalk that. And we're going to go hunting. Was not prepared for that. I really was not prepared for that. I think I was wearing just normal boots, like Western boots, like cowboy boots. I wasn't even wearing like hunting boots that are laced up, protect your ankles. I was rolling my ankles over everything. I didn't know. And I learned when I got to that spot. Same with fishing. Right? Fish in the Midwest, you just see, basically it rains hard and you see a puddle, you could probably throw a line in there and catch a fish. That's how easy it is to fish in the Midwest. Period. Florida, same thing. Just easy. Here, completely different. Most of the time, as evidenced by our recent weather, Arizona twice a year when it changes between hot as hell to really cold, it gets drunk and doesn't know what it should be as far as weather is concerned. Barometric pressures are all over the map. Fish are all over the map. You have to find how to fish here. And that is a challenge to a lot of people that move to the state of Arizona. It's just different, completely different. But hey, it's good. I'm getting a I'm getting a lot of weird comments over here, especially from YouTube. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but thanks for playing along. I think, yeah, the flip off emojis and all that. Okay. If you're upset about it, upset about the news that it's just different here, it is just different. But Arizona is just different. So let me actually get into this, because this weekend's hunt was exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. In the state of Arizona, if you get a mule deer tag, whitetail tag, you get a deer tag in period, you cannot hunt doe. You cannot have the mommies in the babies. Bucks only. Okay? Any antlered deer you'll hear. Okay? Antlered deer, period. Doe, off limits. Where if you're in the maybe you're in the Midwest, I remember being in the Midwest and you could buy a tag, and you could buy a buck tag for like $17, and then there were like $9 or $10 for any bucks, $9 or $10 for doe tags. You can buy you buy dozens of them. Just go to Walmart and walk out with a tag stack like that. Here, no. You have one tag, it's for a buck, and that's it. That's just it. Yeah. Brennan says, interesting format today. iPhone stream. Look, StreamYard what is the program I use for this. And they have this new, you have to pick which orientation you want your, and it said both. Yeah. Slim mic. Yeah. You have to whether you pick landscape or portrait. So I'll figure it out. Like I should be on landscape on YouTube, but that's not the case apparently. So, oh well. All right. You can't hunt doe in the state of Arizona. You can't. So what do you think we saw all weekend? I am not kidding when I say, and I had to take pictures as evidence. I had to take pictures of this. I took pictures of dozens of doe. We saw probably near 100 doe. And they were everywhere. And they were fearless. Fearless. They did not care. We rolled up on them and they just stared at us and then went back down to grazing. Didn't care we were there. Didn't have a care in the world. They'd get a little antsy, maybe a little bit, maybe after a few minutes of us, because we had to get the binos out. And you see them, and there's a dozen of them. And you have to wait till they turn their head a certain way or look directly at you to see if there's any bone between their ears. See if there's any kind of rack. And let me tell you something, Brendan. Them does, though, woo! Girls had that thick. Girls had the cake. I am not kidding. These were horses of doe. They were big. And it was funny. The scout that was out there before us said, "Yeah, there's a lot of evidence of some good sized bucks out there, a lot of sign." And I'm like, those aren't from bucks, dude. Those are actually just giant doe, huge doe, huge. Now let me see if I can fix this here. I mean, I guess I think that's just the way it is. That orientation is going to be the way it is. It's going to be a way just for the remainder of the program. We hunted every piece of 6B we could find and saw only doe. And we saw a lot of them. Not one buck. We went back the second day. I'm like, let's go to the same area. Let's hit the same spots, because there has to be a buck somewhere in there. There has to be. There is got to be. For a buck, that is a target-rich environment. That's like Old Town Scottsdale Saturday night at about 11:30. target rich. It's not even fair. That's what it's like in 6B right now. It's all doe. If I was a buck, I would just roll in and just run the joint. Nope. Not one buck to be found. And we went a looking. It wasn't just sit there on your tuchus and glass. We covered ground. Nothing but doe. So again, now we have to start from zero as far as bonus points are concerned, as far as points are concerned for our tag. And now we have to keep applying for deer tags for maybe years until we get the opportunity again. Again, Arizona is unlike any place in this nation. It is. It's just unlike, as far as hunting and fishing are concerned, it is unlike any other spot. Because we put miles on. Nothing but doe. And that is perfectly acceptable. Nobody cares. It's not like you come back. It's not like you take the drive down the hill and you come back to the valley and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to tell my buddies that I didn't harvest a deer. Didn't get one. Got to tell them that. It's going to suck. No, it is perfectly legitimate to look at anyone who has ever hunted in Arizona and go, but we didn't even see a buck. They're like, oh, yeah, totally. I know it's weird weather and all. Yeah. Fishing's the same thing. I tell everyone when they get here, I say, you call my buddy Scooter. Call up the Arizona Fishing Guides. Call them up. Whatever body of water you're going to be fishing, spend a couple $100 and you get an education on that body of water and you'll be so blown away like I never threw this stuff back home. Learn and then go, and then you become the pro of that body of water. That's how to get it done in Arizona. There's no other way. You need to go on fishing forums on Facebook, any kind of social media, hunting forums, social media, same thing. Ask questions, figure it out. You're going to get a mixed bag too. You're going to get a bunch of guys that are going to jack with you and tell you, oh yeah, you're going to throw this at this time and this at this time. And they're just like, dude, just don't catch fish because I want to catch all the fish. But then you'll find a consistent pattern of the same piece of advice. That's the one you want to listen to because there's more people that are good on those forums than there are asshats. So there you go. But this is it's just normal here to be completely abnormal. Arizona hunting, fishing is abnormal, and that's the normal. It's unlike anything you've ever done. It's unlike anything you've ever dealt with. And I don't know what I mean. Look, let's see. My buddy still owes me a night of beers on a trip where, as he doubted that we're going to pull trout out of a 5-6 wide mountain stream all weekend. Yeah, but where else are you going to get that? Yeah. 5-6 wide stream. Yeah. They would never, ever see that anywhere else. Well, you see it, especially the pond fishing. Good Lord. Pond fishing in the Midwest. Oy. My buddy threw string cheese and actually caught one. Caught a largemouth bass on string cheese. As a lure. He like cast and retrieved it. He didn't like sit there in a bob or anything like that. He just put it in the water and it just begged, boom. Just like that. It's not like that here. Not at all. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Dude. Hooked on my first drop. Snapped it out of the water and landed at his feet. Perfect. There was a time where intern Nuge was just he was a youngin', and I mean a youngin', but my kids could cast at a really early age. They were solid at casting. So we were down at Tempe Town Lake, and we're on one of those little, it almost looks like a little boat ramp, but it's just a little cement drive that goes into the water, and they're placed all along the spots. And so we're sitting there, whatever. He's casting and he's catching fish. This kid's catching fish. I think he's like 6 years old. He's catching fish. And I'm casting the other way, can't catch a fish. But he keeps catching. And I knew exactly what was going on because I just had my bait was too large for that little spot, and he was throwing a smaller bait. And I was like, okay, that's probably what I got to do. Right when I started thinking about, okay, I should probably reel in and switch out baits here. I'm not kidding. I heard this, and I've taught my kids how to trash talk. He said, Dad, If you need help catching a fish, just let me know. Not kidding. I didn't say a word. I put my pole down. I walked over to him and I grabbed his pole out of his hands. And I cast, anger cast. This was a grudge cast. I whipped this thing farther than that little whatever Lightning McQueen rod has ever cast before. The second that lure hit the water, a fish jumped on it. I reeled it in. I handed it to him, fish flopping around on the hook, and said, remember who taught you how to fish? On my life, that happened. I went back and got my pole. As I was walking back to my pole, I was thinking, oh my God. I couldn't have scripted that more perfectly. I could not have scripted that more perfectly. It hit the water and boom. Just proving a point to my kid. Hey, Dad, if you need some help catching fish, just let me know. And the words flow. It was lyrical how the words flew from my mouth. Remember who taught you how to fish? I just handed it back to him. Yeah, owned by a 6-year-old. I know. It was pretty much it was just how I taught them. So there was a little bit of pride after when I was basically decoding and kind of briefing myself on what just happened. Holy cow. That was wild. So he talks trash. I grab his pole, boom, threw it out there, pam, hit the water, fish on, catch it. Here you go. Remember who taught you how to fish. Yeah, it is because of the Lightning McQueen rod, which actually brings me to another story, which is pretty funny. I took intern Beans out on the kayaks, and she said I have such a beautiful picture of this. She's such a tiny little thing. She said, Dad, can I stand? She was on a kayak. I was on a kayak. She said, Dad, can I stand on this? I'm like, heck yeah. And she starts casting, retrieve, and she's using her brother's pole. Okay. So she's using, I don't know what happened to her pole or whatever, but she was using John's Lightning McQueen pole. We called that the beep, beep pole. Beep, beep pole. So she's casting. She goes, Dad, how many times do I have to cast before I caught a fish? And she goes like this. She sets the hook like a champ. And she sits down in the kayak. She starts reeling this thing in. And it's a beast of a largemouth bass. And so she reel, snap. And I'm not talking about the line. The pole snapped. Because knucklehead Dad, me, did not reset the drag after I baited the line. So the drag was locked down. The pole snapped. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Here's what she did. She yells, oh, no. And she starts hand lining this thing in. Boom, boom, boom. Just hand lining it in. Brings it in, holds it up. And then starts freaking out. There's a fish in here. Yeah. She was distraught. She caught the fish. It was great. I'll find the pictures and I'll bring them. I'll bring them tomorrow to the show. But she was distraught that she broke her brother's fishing pole. So much so that right up the road was a Bass Pro Shop. We had to stop on the way home and get a new setup for little man. And it was not another Lightning McQueen rod. Real, it was not. It was it's a nice. She upgraded him, and by she I mean, of course, I did. Oh, my kids get thrown in. Intern Beans is the worst to fish with though, because you'll start fishing and she will catch a solid fish. By the way, that one is about a 3-pounder. I'm going to say it's a 3-pounder. She'll catch a big fish and then she'll just be done. It's like, okay, caught a fish. I'm good. Thanks. That was fun, Dad. Appreciate it. I'm out there fishing for hours and she's just kind of tooling around, doing her thing. Don't need fish anymore. Why would I fish? I already caught a big old fish. That's what we came to do. Like, honey, we catch several fish. She's like, yeah. It's not hard. It's not a challenge to intern Beans, apparently. Yeah. But it's different here. It just is. And these kids grew up fishing here, in hunting here. They understand. Look, bird hunting, fantastic here. Dove hunting, insane here in Arizona. It's basically Yuma, Arizona, and Argentina, like the top 2 dove hunting spots in the world. Yuma is a defense mission. It's an arcade game. You're basically firing to keep the birds from landing on you. That's how many dove are out there. Yeah. We're just different here. It's all it is. We're just different here. Y'all, I got to apologize. I got to figure out how to deal with this this landscape and portrait view that StreamYard just threw me this curveball today. I might spend some time tonight on figuring this out, figuring this whole thing out. There's all these new upgrades on this streaming platform that I use, and there's a ton of upgrades. So I'm gonna have to relearn. I thought I had it mapped so far, but they keep making changes faster than I can keep up with them. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on that and make sure that we get this dialed in. But again, a very successful hunt that, because we're in Arizona, ended unsuccessfully. Like if we had this kind of action in Missouri and we could actually hunt doe here in Arizona, I'd have a freezer full, and Jim would have a freezer full, and his son would have a freezer full, and his dad would have a freezer full. We would all have freezers. I'd be handing out deer meat. There's everywhere. Mm-hmm. Very close. Is it up? Is it? Let me get you that. Is it? How close is it? Is that close? How close is it, Brandon? Tell me. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take that. I'll get that off of there, and we'll. I think it's for, I don't know, reels, or I don't know. Who knows? We're going back to landscape. Okay, going back to landscape, and I'll have those pictures. And I left my girlfriend behind for the hunt, so Queen Bee took the time to make some AI videos, AI hunting videos. Wait till you see these. All right, so we'll have those for you, and those awesome intern beans. Because again, if you don't have pictures of it, it did not happen. In the story I'm telling you, I have pictures. I have photographic evidence, broken pole, and hand lining in whole nine. It is intern beans in all of her glory. That will be tomorrow, right here, and landscape view, not portrait. Or portrait view. No, I don't know what the hell it is, but we'll go to normal view tomorrow on YouTube. I promise. Right here on the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in. Thanks for playing along.